Hey, good to have everybody here today. Thank you for the invitation. Audio is still good, Annie?
It's good.
Yes,
Okay,
sounds good.
cool. All right. Well, hey, I appreciate the opportunity, and I've just got a few things that we wanted to go over with about Eastern Metal Supply and some of the market opportunities that we think are available. Just to give you a quick rundown in case some of you are wondering, have I seen this guy before? Let me see if I can get my screen here. Yep. So I started out with Eastern Metal Supply as an outside rep in Missouri and then in the Panhandle of Florida. And I did that for about 9 years. Then I moved over to a regional sales manager position with Eastern, did that for a few years. And then you may have seen me with Sloan LED. I worked for Sloan for a few years as well. Left Sloan when they merged with Principal. Went to the wilderness for a couple of months, but then I got called back to Eastern Metal Supply as the sign market manager in May of this year. And so that is my current responsibility, is to help Eastern in the sign market, which is a large percentage of our overall business, and to help the sign companies with shapes, extrusions, opportunities, anything related to signage. So I've got about 20 years working with sign fabricators and sign companies all across the South and Southeast primarily. My daughter is a freshman at the University of Florida, so you will hear me talk about her quite a bit. Or I'll be talking about my son, who's a freshman in high school, and I am the band dad. I take all of the equipment and the truck and everything. So I have lots of stories for you anytime you want to hear them about that. And the other thing I talk about all the time, go Steelers. So a little bit about Eastern Metal Supply. We were founded in 1982 in Lake Worth, Florida. We are currently owned by Winchurch Capital, a private equity company. They purchased us in 2020. In 1982, we had 5 employees. Today, we have over 800. About 900 million in sales with 17 nationwide distribution facilities. And the reason that I'm a sign market manager is signage represents about 25% of our total business. So it is a big piece of the pie, and it's a piece of the pie that we want to keep healthy. So how do we define the sign industry at Eastern? The sign industry is made up of fabricators, custom designers, large format printers, graphics designers, vinyl shops, wraps and lettering companies of all shapes and sizes. EMS tends to focus on the fabricators and designers, as they tend to be the shops using metal framework and custom designing larger signs and sign packages in different industries. Where we have some of the most success is industries that include hotels, quick serve restaurants, gas stations and convenience stores, retail outlets like malls, storefronts, and shopping centers. So a lot of our customer base is in those customers, and that's where we spend a lot of our time and energy chasing some of that business with you guys. A little bit about the sign market. The sign industry is starting to catch up with the technology and information boom. And what that means is sign companies are consolidating and streamlining facilities and manufacturing spaces to keep up with customer demand and to help provide quicker lead times, trying to figure out how to work smarter and not harder, which is where some of that technology and some of that information comes from. The aluminum supply chain had a couple of years there from COVID where things were pretty volatile, as most as you know, and as most of you experienced with your other materials as well. And so as of now, the aluminum supply chain has kind of recovered from COVID, and supply and demand are more stable in 2023, and also looking forward to 2024 than they have been in the past couple of years. Prices of aluminum have come down significantly as well since COVID. And that's all just kind of a moderation of the craziness that was going on during those times. So no more quotes are good for 10 minutes, that type of stuff. We have recovered from that wild experience. We are a specialist in the sign extrusions and custom sign shapes. That's one of our strengths in the market. And so as sign companies build cabinets and fabricate aluminum, we have several different shapes and several different profiles that make EMS a provider of specialty shapes and extrusions. Our knowledge of those profiles and our knowledge of competitive products in the industry, we feel are unique and allow us to be more of a consultative type of approach as opposed to trucks coming on Tuesday, what would you like on it? So we try to take a little bit more active role within the design and selling of the sign. Just-in-time inventory, per order inventory is something that we specialize in. We want to help sign companies with cash flow and also with inventory management. We've got 17 nationwide facilities. Let us worry about where the aluminum is kept, and you keep your shop floors open for fabrication and for production. We value our relationships, and we feel like we have an expertise in the sign industry with organizations from the International Sign Association and several different local and regional trade shows. Of course, we love Mid-South. But I think it's pretty clear that what we do in sponsorship for our sign industries and for sponsorships of our trade shows is pretty unique in the market. We also have some buying power at the mill level that can help with custom profiles or can consolidate two shapes into one for greater efficiency in your fabrication. How does EMS help with all of these things? Well, we want to help you make profit. You know, obviously architectural signs are usually more profitable than a standard channel letter or box sign. So we're helping to look for those opportunities and helping you fabricate those opportunities when you get a bid package for an architectural sign or custom sign. People, with the limited labor that is available all across the country, the time to spend on a sign is less than ever. And showing a sign company how to speed up their fabrication process or eliminate steps in their fabrication process can help with some of those limited labor and people issues. Time, similar to people, the faster the sign gets built, the quicker you can get it off your floor and out to the customer, the quicker you can start the process of getting paid. And then expertise. A tube is a tube. So a square tube is a square tube, an angle is an angle. What can we offer at EMS that can be unique and be a problem solver? Maybe it's an extrusion that instead of stick building a cabinet, you can use an extrusion. Maybe it's a raceway. Maybe it's channel letter coil. There's several different things that we can do in addition to the standard items. We have some new marketing tools that are coming out that we're excited about to help us and to help you as our customers. We have an EMS University that is going to be launching soon to help with product specifications and product knowledge. This will be used internally at first for EMS employees, but we will roll out a broader platform that will be available for customer face as well eventually. So you'll be able to go in and pull up yield reports, tensile reports, anything specific about an alloy or a temper, or just different pictures or applications of products in the field. And that will not only be for the sign industry, but for all of the products that we have. So EMS University will be launching soon to help with those things. We are constantly updating our printed catalog, and we are constantly updating our website. We have a new website that is already underway that will give a better presentation of products, pictures, inventory, more intuitive category and product displays with better pictures and better product information, so that if you're looking for something specific in a sign extrusion, there will be no concern or question as to what you're looking at and how it's used. And then we're very excited to have a customer portal that will eventually be available as well, where you can log in to your account and access inventory, access historical pricing of what you've paid for a particular item. And as we develop this new website and the EMS University, we're going to have to change some of our internal systems to more of a web-based system, but that web-based system will allow us to create the customer portal. And I know that in several other industries, you already have access to a portal or you have access to information related to your purchasing. And so we're excited to be able to do something very similar to that coming up very soon. EMS is big into trade shows. We support the sign industries heavily, and we're very proud of the fact that we're members of Mid-South and International Sign Association and several others. So here's just a list of some of the trade shows that we've attended this year to help support the industry. Obviously, ISA in Vegas. We've been to Texas. Obviously, we do Mid-South. We did the Tri-States in Joplin, Midwest Sign Association in Detroit, Illinois Sign Association in Chicago, Southern States in Orlando. And I think our support of the sign industry is unmatched amongst our competitors in the metals industry. We're proud of that. We like to brag about that. And I think it's important to support the industries that are supporting us. And so it's a big part of our activity that we do on a regular basis. There's proof that we've actually attended one of those shows. We are kind of known for our blue shirt and black pants, but that's what we do. So, of course, we have product samples and things like that that we try to present as well. And so you'll see us and our motley crew of people at all of the various shows around the country. Let's talk a little bit about the customer base and some opportunities within that customer base. In 2022, the Sign of the Times issued a report. 85% of the registered ISA sign shops have less than 20 full-time employees. That was kind of a shock to me. I don't know if that's a shock to you, but there's a lot of medium-sized, small-sized sign shops that we work with. 63% of those companies reported higher profits and increased sales from 2021 to 2022. I think most of them would report the same for 2022 to 2023. Those surveyed said that the biggest threat to their business is recruiting and retaining staff. I would imagine that would hit home with a few of us. The second biggest issue was price competition and diminishing profits. So like we talked about a couple of slides back, how can we make the most money with limited labor and limited resources in some cases? Of those registered ISA members, 93% offered channel letters, 93% offered cabinet signs, 60% offered EMCs, dimensional signage at 59%, and backlit awnings at 29%. 7% identified themselves as custom products only. So there's probably a little bit of customization in all of those items, but interesting to see the mix of what sign companies offer. 86% said that LEDs are their primary illumination source. Fluorescent lamps and neon tied for last at 10%. For any of you that have been in the industry for more than a couple of years, you know how dramatic the increase in LEDs has done to the sign industry and the ability of LEDs to be an efficient way of illumination. When we all started in the business, fluorescent lamps were the way to go, and there were still people blowing neon on a regular basis. So it just shows you how the market has changed. There's this sign consulting firm called WTB Biz. It says that technology and customization are the driving force in the sign industry. Optimizing business operations and trying to influence customer behavior with a simple and modern approach is the new normal. I think that addresses some of the streamlining and some of the acquisitions that are going on in the sign industry and how people are consolidating resources where it makes the most sense to do so. Dun & Bradstreet reports 6,000 sign companies with a combined annual revenue of $13 billion. Also per D&B, the global signage market is $40 billion, with Asia Pacific representing about 20% of the total market. And D&B forecasts the global signage market to expand approximately 7% annually to 2030. So lots of growth and lots of opportunity still coming our way. At Eastern, we try to do a little bit more than the normal or a little bit more than the basics. So when we're looking at a project that has channel letters, we're also looking for a canopy system that may be going over the opening of the door. We're looking for a raceway on those channel letters, something that can help you distinguish yourself from your competitors. We love trellises. We love anything that can be an add-on to the building. And most of these are simply just decorative. There's not necessarily a structural feature to them. Doesn't necessarily prevent you from rain or snow or sun, but it just decorates the building and provides an additional experience for the consumer. So when we see an opportunity to do a sign that has large channel letters or whatever the case may be, we're also helping you look for other opportunities, whether it be screens, roofs, canopies, railing, whatever the case may be. So let's talk a little bit about what we sell into the sign industry. Most of what we sell is standards, things like tubing, sheet, angle, channel, all different shapes and sizes, all different wall thicknesses, but basic items all the same. Sheet in 5052 alloy and 3003 alloy, along with pre-painted and channel letter coil. Sign extrusions like raceways, sign frames, double T's, divider bars. DOT signage, which actually is our largest sign account in the company, is a DOT provider. And custom shapes, custom dies, cut to length, anything that would be out of the norm. And then my favorite calls are when a sign guy is in the back of the catalog and has pulled up something from stainless boat railing and has an idea on how he can use it in his sign. Or, hey, I was looking in your patio section and I think I found something I want to use in a cabinet. So we sell quite a bit of miscellaneous items to sign guys because you guys are just creative and that's what y'all do. So the top selling product into the sign industry is 2-inch square tube with an 1/8-inch wall, followed by 3-inch square tube with an 1/8-inch wall, and then 1.5-inch square tube with an 1/8-inch wall. So when we see a sign customer and they're buying tubing, we have a pretty good idea it's going to be one of those 3 sizes on a regular basis. When we sell angle, we sell a lot of 2x2 by 3/16, followed by 1.5 by 1.5 by 1/8, followed by 2x2 by 1/8. So some repetitive opportunities in angle as well. Our top selling sheet item is 5x10 by 1/8, followed by 5x10 by 0.80, followed by 4x10 0.63. So lots of different applications can be done off of either of those sizes, but those are the 3 that we see the most of. Top selling sign frame is our 4.5 by 7 tab mounted raceway, followed closely by the 4.5 by 4.5 tab mounted raceway. And then our 12-inch sign frame with retainer is another of our top selling sign frames. So when we talk about how to inventory for a sign company, these are some of the things that we look at because these are the most common items that are used in the industry. So some growth opportunities that we think are available in our market. 2 of our largest 10 accounts as a company are DOT signage. So we are working with our customers in the DOT industry to find some common ground, find some common shapes, some similarities within the industry as a way of growing our business and increasing our opportunities with our sign customer base. You may not be doing any DOT signage for your state or for your area, but if we can find a DOT breakaway pole or a DOT street sign extrusion or anything that has some use in multiple areas, it's another area of growth that you could explore in your area. DOT signage is constant and very, very busy for most of the year in a lot of places. Some of our largest accounts are also multiple region, multiple location accounts within the EMS umbrella. So you may have a facility in the Northeast and a facility in the Southeast and a facility in the Midwest. Well, we can offer company-wide pricing and consistency amongst all of our branches and deliver within a wide network across this country. So we're trying to be a one-stop shop for those multiple location, multiple region sign companies as well. And then we want to capitalize on the technology wave as well. That could include redesigning some shapes for smaller, more efficient LED illumination. Could be angles and channels for thinner EMC types of frames. But we want us to think about what's coming up and what's coming in the future when it relates to our sign shapes and our sign profiles. What do we need to do to capitalize on the greater efficiencies that we're all looking for? And then we want to be custom fabrication. We want to be additional things. We have a full fabrication machine shop in both our Florida and Texas facilities that can do cut to length, holes, drilling, stamping, kitting, and other fabrications. So if we can help you with your labor shortages and your time shortages by kitting something for you, or by drilling holes into a certain pattern, cutting sizes to length, whatever those cases may be, we are increasing our fabrication capabilities, and we will eventually have fabrication in our Missouri and North Carolina facilities as well. So it's a company initiative to increase our fabrication services as an opportunity to help you guys as well. Some new opportunities that I think are available. There's obviously a push for electric vehicles, and electric vehicle charging stations are a new brand of signage. Retailers and shoppers are going to be most impacted by this new EV charging advertising, and advertising while charging is the new wave of advertising. There are several facilities, you've all seen them at a Quick Trip or a racetrack or a Wawa or whatever you have in your local area, where these charging stations on the edge of the parking lot and all of the cars that are sitting there being charged. Well, now there's signage that's going up in a lot of those where the customer is a captive audience at that point, and they're doing advertising during those charging sessions. There's going to be additional framing and additional signage required as that happens. And so I think the EV push, whatever happens with that in the next few years, that advertising opportunity is going to be significant. There's also a big push for sustainability. There's options for solar powered signage. You know, aluminum is a recyclable material and is made from recyclable materials. So there's already an advantage in some cases by using aluminum in green applications. Well, we're looking for more ways to meet city, municipality funding requirements for green initiatives. And I think that will be very important as well moving forward. And then, like I mentioned, doing more, cutting, drilling, punching, kitting, whatever it takes to do more with our existing customer base. We've got a big investment in fab equipment. Like I said, Florida and Texas already have 2 shifts running. Missouri and North Carolina will be adding fabrication soon. So we want to help you with those opportunities as they come up. And then there's some international influences, obviously, European style signage, which is usually thinner, a little less bright, a little bit more design, a little bit more arts, creativity to it. These types of signs are becoming more and more popular in a lot of places as retailers are looking for ways to separate themselves from their competitors. So companies that can embrace this type of style and embrace this type of chain will have more regional and national work. And so we want to be on the forefront of helping with those designs and helping with those shapes. And that's all I have. I hope that the information was useful. I hope that you learned a couple of things. As always, if you have any questions about Eastern strategy or Eastern's thoughts moving forward, you're welcome to contact any of us at Eastern. We can get those questions answered for you. And once again, just thank you for the opportunity to present at Mid-South. We appreciate the partnership and we appreciate all of you. Thank you for attending.
Thank you, Scott.